Recorded live in beautiful Colorado, USA. Broadcast around the world. You're listening to the Quarterly Review Podcast. Produced by Three Angels Message Ministry. Your host is Tamara Rookdashel.
Welcome to our Quarterly Review Podcast, produced by Three Angels Message Ministry. I'm your host, Tamara Rookdashel. This quarter is titled Daniel. Today is Monday, January 6, 2020. Today is titled Faith Under Pressure. Let's begin with a word of prayer. Our Creator, Father, and Friend, by your divine guidance, we are each so unique a treasure. Some of us thrive under pressure, but even those of us who do not are transformed from coal to diamonds. It is a process, as everything about life is, and it takes time. But if we are patient with the time that was created and given to us for our benefit, we will see extraordinary things come out of our current situations. You are the only one true and living God, and I, for one, and my audience with me, are looking forward to the day that all our whys and other questions begin to be answered. We look for the day when we can read the sheet music to the symphony of our lives, and the lives of those we love and those we have lost. There is nothing here and now that compares for what you have prepared to bestow upon us once the final battle is overcome. Use us to strengthen each other, to bless one another, and to bring praise to your holy name. Strengthen us as we spiritually mature. Find opportunities more often to serve others, which is truly serving you, and in turn strengthens our faith, our connection to you, and brings about the fulfillment of our commission to teach others about you and your love for us all. Send us as emissaries. In Yeshua's name we praise you, love you, and thank you. Amen. I will start out today's lesson, titled Faith Under Pressure, by reading Daniel chapter 1. The question we are answering is, what pressures are put on these young men to conform? Daniel's training in Babylon. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem to besiege it. And the Lord delivered Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, along with some of the articles from the temple of God. These he carried off to the temple of his God in Babylonia, which is also known as Shinar, and put in the treasure house of his God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his court officials, to bring into the king's service some of the Israelites from the royal family and the nobility. Young men without any physical defect, handsome, showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well-informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and literature of the Babylonians, or otherwise known as Chaldeans. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that they were to enter the king's service. Among those who were chosen were some from Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief official gave them new names: to Daniel the name Belteshazzar, to Hananiah Shadrach, to Mishael he gave Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way. Now God had caused the official to show favor and compassion to Daniel, but the official told Daniel, "I am afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned your food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king would then have my head because of you." Daniel then said to the guard, whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, "Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then compare our appearance to that of the young men who eat the royal food, and treat your servants in accordance with what you see." So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard took away their choice food and the wine that they were to drink, and gave them vegetables instead. To these 4 young men God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning, and Daniel could understand visions and dreams of all kinds. At the end of the time set by the king to bring them into his service, the chief official presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked with them, and he found none equal to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they entered the king's service. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king questioned them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters in his whole kingdom. And Daniel remained there until the first year of King Cyrus. Upon arrival in Babylon, these 4 young men have had to face a most serious challenge to their faith and convictions. They are selected to undergo special training in order to serve the king. Ancient kings would often recruit some of their best captives to serve in the royal palace, and thereby switch their loyalty to the king and the gods of the empire that captured them. Indeed, the whole process was intended to effect a conversion and indoctrination that would result in the change of a worldview. As part of that process, the Hebrew captives have their names changed. A new name signals a change of ownership and a change of destiny. Thus, by renaming the captives, the Babylonians intended to assert authority over them and force them to assimilate the values and cultures of Babylon. Their original names, which point to the God of Israel, are replaced with names honoring foreign deities. In addition, the king determines that the young men should eat from his table. Eating from the king's food had deep implications in antiquity. It meant undivided alliance to the king and reflected dependence on him. And as the food was usually offered to the god or gods of the empire, eating also had a profound religious meaning. It obviously meant acceptance of and participation in the king's worship system. Thus, Daniel and his companions find themselves in challenging circumstances. For them to remain loyal to God and survive the overwhelming power of the imperial system demands nothing less than a miracle. To further complicate matters, the city of Babylon itself also stood as a monumental expression of human achievement. The architectural beauty of the Babylonian temples, the hanging gardens, and the Euphrates River meandering across the city conveyed an image of unsurpassable might and glory. So, Daniel and his friends are offered an opportunity for promotion and the chance to enjoy the benefits and prosperity of the system. They can cease to be Hebrew captives and become royal officers. Will they compromise their principles to tread the easy path to glory? In what ways could these boys have rationalized a decision to compromise their convictions? And in what ways might you now be facing similar, if subtler, challenges? We hope you enjoyed our review of today's quarterly lesson. Please consider writing down and looking up the Bible texts we cover in your own Bible and for yourself. Please hit follow, like, or subscribe on the podcast page you're on so you can receive up-to-date podcasts and access to all of our services. We have made available a free PDF download of just the questions for each week, available within our Sunday blog posts. These are great additions to keeping a spiritual journal of what God has done in your life, for your own spiritual edification, but also as witness to encourage others. Writing down your answers to the questions allows them to sink in more deeply, inspire further thought, to inspire action, to ultimately inspire change in your life and the lives of those around you. If you're also looking for groups in your area that are studying with us, we can provide information to connect you. Just contact us or place your request within our forum. We look forward to connecting with you online in the future and in God's kingdom.
Thank you for joining us today. To find out more about our ministry, listen to older podcasts, read additional articles, join our forum, access printable PDFs, or order your own published quarterly booklet, please visit us online at www.3am-ministry.org. Have a blessed and prosperous day.